Expecto Patronum! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a big winter lake inspired by the Great Lake in Harry Potter outside of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The lake in the films is based off of several lochs in Scotland and I've actually visited one of them. Here's a pic. I'll explain more along the way. Let's get started. So I'm starting off with terraforming the lake. Just marking the outline. I have a big update to tell you guys about my island. As some of you will know, but I guess new people to my channel won't. Welcome to the channel, by the way. That I recently decided to go for a Ghibli style island, starting with my entrance and several villager hunts. But anyway, I had so many ideas of what to build and make for a Ghibli style island in autumn, but then winter hit. And as I've never played Animal Crossing before, I didn't know it would be total snow for 3 months. I was drawing a blank for Ghibli builds because, correct me if I'm totally wrong, but none of the Ghibli movies take place in snow. So many jungles, deserts, green fields, towns, just no snow. So I was wondering what to do when it hit me that I'd had some ideas for a Harry Potter island a while ago, and I am a big fan of Harry Potter, in case you don't know. Of course, why would you know? I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, and a lot of Harry Potter is inspired by Scotland and England, which has snow, you know? Not as much as Canada, but it has snow. And parts of the films and the books are in snow. So I decided that would fit winter best. Don't worry, I plan to complete my Harry Potter island and do a Dream Address by the end of winter. So spring, I'll be going straight back to Ghibli. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right, anyway, let's get back to the build. Here I'm almost completing the lake. Just trying to make it big enough so that it feels like an expanse without like a really just huge area, because the Great Lake, as I said in the intro, is based on these huge lochs in Scotland. I wanted it to be big enough that it would feel just almost endless in one screen, if that makes sense. It needed to be touching the edges of both sides of the screen so you can kind of get lost in it. Yeah, because I was never going to be able to make it as big as the lochs in Scotland. I'd need the whole island to do that. And I have a lot more exciting things that I want to build with this island. If you have any Harry Potter ideas yourself, let me know. Write down in the comments below or message me on Instagram. So you can see that I'm terraforming a cliff to the right hand side at the back. Well, that's going to be where I do like some kind of outdoor model of Hogwarts. Stay tuned to see that, because it's not in this video, because I have a lot of custom designs to make for it. But yeah, that's what's going to go up there. So for now, it's just going to be like 2 layers of cliffs to kind of give a placeholder for what I'm going to build in the future. I was really trying to look at this picture to try and get the sort of sense of scale of what I should be doing. And I start planting some trees, and decide that the hardwood trees, I love hardwood trees, but it just didn't look right for this. I felt that it just needed to be cedar trees. This build was over 3 days and I think 5 hours of building. I think it took. But anyway, I also wanted to taper off the trees so that it made it look like it was further in the distance. Of course, in a forest there are different sized trees, but I put the bigger ones at the front and smaller ones at the back to give that, again, epic view. So giving it a grand sense of scale, like messing with perspective. Here I start playing with some snowy pathways, which I shall put the custom code down below. I really love this path. It has such a nice, like almost icing snow feel to it, like it's such a fluffy edge to it. I really like it. But placing this kind of path takes so long. I actually kind of enjoyed it in a sort of meditative kind of way. It was fun trying to make it look as like random or like naturally curving as possible. I'm not sure if I achieved it, let me know. But I quite liked how it turned out. I still need to work on the entrance to this from my entrance, but we'll see how it goes. Another thing I really wanted to ask you guys was, for some of these speed builds, I speak the entire time. And for some other ones, I just speak at the beginning and the end. What would you guys prefer? I guess this one I was trying out a bit of talking, a bit of not talking. Well, I haven't done very well at the not talking part, but like leaving bigger gaps between when I speak. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. It really does help me create the content that you want. This part in front of where Hogwarts is going to be, I'm going to change to be more rocky in the future, I think. But again, I wanted to make more custom designs for it, so it does look a little blank at the end of it, but it's just a placeholder. And I'm really excited about trying to make it Hogwarts. Look at the villagers with their little hats on in the snow. Go back inside, you silly billies. As you can see, I placed Deirdre's house at the top left area because I thought it looked so much like Hagrid's house. So behind here, in another build very soon, I'm going to make Hagrid's house. And yeah, Deirdre, I guess, will be Hagrid. I don't know. But her house, definitely Hagrid's hut kind of vibe. I'm really looking forward to using the spooky items for Hagrid's pumpkin patch. And yeah, making a kind of mini farm, I guess, which is great because I love the mini farms that people make in this game. Here I finished the paths and started working on some shrubbery and still the trees. I play with the trees until the end of the build. I find it really difficult to put things on the edge of water, like it just always looks slightly too close for a lot of items anyway. Not all the items, but yeah. That's why I also didn't put much of the path very close to the edge, because I felt like it looked better with more piled snow on the edge. That's the impression I felt that it gave. As for the flowers and colours that I chose, I thought holly is very appropriate because we have a lot of holly in the UK, especially around winter time. And I wanted to go for kind of natural, British-ish things. British-ish, like plants that could be plausibly in the UK, like just growing somewhere. So I felt like the lily of the valley looks a bit like snowdrops that we have in early January, February time. And the mums just kind of gave the green element that the snow doesn't have anymore. They almost look like kind of dandelions-ish. And then the tulips, I felt that the orange tulips really complemented the greens of the trees really well. Actually, the flowers turned a bit more colourful than I originally intended. From my reference picture and from Harry Potter in general, there aren't many flowers. It's mainly a lot of trees, a lot of darkness, a lot of roots, especially in the Forbidden Forest, which is kind of what surrounds the Great Lakes. So behind Hagrid's house, I am going to do a mini version of the Forbidden Forest with a lot of darkness and enclosed space feeling, hopefully. Well, that's the plan anyway. I play around with some different shaped rocks here, but they all look a little dark compared to the rest of the things I have in this build. Like those custom designs are quite light. All of them are quite light, so it just looks very obvious, very like contrasting in a bad way. Yeah. Juxtaposition is the wrong word, but yeah. They look very in the wrong place. I experimented with some pumpkins there quickly, but again, it was just too colourful for what I imagined for the atmosphere that I was originally trying to make. So I felt that the front was looking a bit bare, so I decided to make my own Sirius Black poster custom design. His Escaped from Azkaban poster design, and I put it on a cafe sign, wooden sign, is that what it's called? That thing. And I also decorated some scattered papers with it on too. So I guess this is during the third book. And briefly here you can see the squid model. Well, I was really trying to really add the giant squid from Harry Potter, but that was the best I could do. I really wanted to have maybe octopus seemed better, but you can't, as far as I know, make deep sea creatures into models like fish. So there's my giant squid. He's not so giant, but you know, perspective. It's just he's there in the background. He's jumping through the air. You can see me putting down the illuminated reindeer, which was inspiration from a friend. She told me that she had that reference on her island at her lake. So it's a reference to Harry's Patronus of his father, the stag. So it was just a perfect coincidence that I got that DIY literally yesterday. Here I left in an experiment that kind of failed. I really wanted to make my own boats. You know, the boats with no sails that have the lanterns that go to Hogwarts. For the first years, Hagrid takes them across the Great Lake to Hogwarts. And I tried so many different things. And again, lots of people helped me out with ideas, but I just couldn't make it small enough, and I just wasn't happy with any of the designs. But here, you can watch me try 3 different design patterns and ultimately not use them. But if you guys have any ideas for how I could do a rowboat or some other kind of boat in this small area, let me know. I've seen some great pirate ships and like bigger boats, but nothing this size so far. I wanted to keep the front part quite plain because I wanted the lake to be the main feature there. But I did also really want a place that I could sit. If someone comes over, we can just sit there and hang out. So I decided on this log bench. I felt that the well was a bit too clunky there, so I replaced it with some leaves just to have a slightly more natural looking area. I think I'll use the well later on though, definitely. And more scattered papers. So I just decided to give this one extra layer just so that it kind of emulates the mountains in the original picture, and again, placeholder for where Hogwarts is going to be. And that's the finishing touch that completes this build. And that's the end of the video. I actually really liked how this turned out. Oh, and shooting stars. I genuinely didn't know it was a shooting star night. So beautiful and so appropriate. I felt as though I got lots of different elements from Harry Potter in the giant squid, the Patronus, the Sirius poster, etc, etc. And I'm really looking forward to making the model Hogwarts on the top right there, and Hagrid's hut behind, and even the Forbidden Forest behind that. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!